And here we are in Croatia, which ended, it thought, Habsburg rule, Habsburg dictatorship. And now the government of Croatia, and I understand the main opposition parties too, they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, the way that they are pushing this forward without any public debate and clearly no questioning or looking at the background to what this is all about. They are proposing to sign back, in effect, control of this country to the Habsburg dynasty and their connected families and groups that are actually the force behind the European Union. And the same technique is being played all over the world. We now have an African Union, which is being more and more moved to becoming a whole of Africa dictatorship. We now have the African Union Army. More and more rules and laws are coming in Africa that dictate to every African country. In America, we have a free trade zone called the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and that is now very close to being turned into the North American Union, their version of the European Union, when the Canadian and American dollars and the Mexican peso will be replaced by another currency which has at least a working title of the Amero. And they want to do the same as they're doing in the European Union and in Africa and America in the Pacific, where they have a free trade zone called Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, and they want an Asia Eastern, Australian, etc. version of the European Union. So eventually what they want is to pick off every single country in the world into one of these unions, and these unions will answer to the world government. Crucially also, they've produced the maps. The European Union has done this. They want to break nation states up into regions, and they'll sell it as if it's diversity of power, when really what they're doing is breaking up any unity of response to this edifice of superstate and world government power by breaking up nation states that exist today into regions. Croatia has no idea what it is about to let itself in for, and its government and opposition parties are a disgrace that they are allowing this sleepwalk to happen to the, in terms of Croatian culture and sovereignty and ability to make its own decisions. That sleepwalk is heading very fast for the edge of a very, very deep cliff. You know, I've said in my talks when I come to Croatia that people talk about troops massing on the border waiting to invade a country. Well, there is something amassing on the border of Croatia now. And it's not troops and tanks, it's legislation. And it is a tidal wave that is going to hit this country of 5 million people in a European Union of 500 million people. And people in Croatia are going to be staggered by the way this country changes after the government, if the people allow it, sign Croatia into the European Union. Whenever you look at these institutions and structures of these families that are behind this conspiracy, it is just like a spider's web. They catch people in a mountain of laws, rules, and regulations, sub-clauses, fine detail. I mean, the vast, overwhelming majority, I'd say 99% of legislation that is passed by politicians is legislation they have never read. And From the time that Britain went into the what is now the European Union in '73, I have watched this European Union legislation just get added to and added to and added to and added to the point where it is now dictating the fine detail of the lives of people in Britain, and 75% and growing of the laws that are introduced in Britain today originate with the bureaucrats, unelected by the way, in Brussels, and not even with elected politicians. And now, we at least, who've been in the Union for a long time, have had the ability to go with this stepping stone and see it added to. This is what is amassing on the border of Croatia. All that mountain, tidal wave, however you want to symbolize it, of legislation that has been built up in the European Union since its creation as a common market. That's amassing on the border. And soon as your leaders go, we're in, they invade. That legislation invades this nation of 5 million people. You have no idea what that means, because people are going to be staggered by how their ability to live and the decisions they can make and the impositions on you can't do this, you can't do that, are going to impact on their lives when this starts. The end of Croatia as you know it. Because we in Britain are a country of nearly 70 million people. And we have been absorbed and dictated to by these bureaucrats. Croatia is a country of 5 million people. It's going to be swallowed whole by these people. And the government of Croatia is having no debate. It is an absolute national disgrace. And if people do not start to look at this, then they should not complain when the tidal wave hits them, as it will.